Greetings, I'm Gano Grills for Galighticus.com, and welcome to another episode of Q&A with Gano Grills. I have gotten this question so many different times within the past 2 years, and I'd like to talk about it today. And it's the phenomenon that is associated with you all seeing numbers every day, multiple times a day. Some of you are seeing 1111, some of you are seeing 333, 222, 444, 1234, AM and PM. Some of you are looking at license plates and those same numbers are presenting themselves to you. Some of you are looking at your receipts and those numbers seem to be following you. And those numbers are haunting you and getting your attention. Well, this is a real occurrence and there's a reason for that. The angels from the celestial kingdom of heaven are responsible for broadcasting and radiating these numbers directly into your reality. They're doing that to get your attention. They're getting you to focus on what it is that you're thinking about at the moment, as well as to remind you as to why you are here on earth. There is nobody on the planet Earth that is not here for a particular reason. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people on Earth who are wasting time. And time is a faculty that is created as a necessary illusion that allows you to interface with the cause of why you're here. Let's examine that a little bit further. Time does not exist outside of the vacuum that we perceive life to be. Time is an artificial, imaginary thing that we have to use to function in order for us to gain the experience of what life has to offer. We brought ourselves here for a very, very intense schooling in a series of lifetimes and lessons. When we go back to ancient Atlantis, which was a golden age, a diamond age, if you will, in which we had reached the pinnacle of our intelligence, we did not die off. If you go back to the Bible and you look at the prophet Methuselah lived to be roughly 900 and some odd years old. We don't live as long as we used to. Now, Methuselah was a being that actually lived in biblical times, but Atlantis was before those times, and people lived for thousands of years. There are no records to prove what I'm telling you. If you go to Plato, he has 2 books that actually deal with some of the mythologies, as a lot of people like to call it, about Atlantis. But Atlantis was a real period in Earth's history in which we had so much time on our hands, we actually got bored. And because we got bored, we started leaning more towards the chaotic absence of light, because we had too much time on our hands. And we started dealing with things that we had no business dealing with, which ultimately caused us to fall from that density of reality to where we are now, which is the third density or the third dimension of duality and polarity. We are more disconnected than we were back then. So we fast forward to our present tense, and those numbers that you're seeing are there as gold posts and reminders for you to remember why you're here on earth and what you've come here to do, and to not waste time. There are time lords whose job it is to regulate the units of time that we use every day. There are people that procrastinate and they waste time. If you do that, you are actually making yourself a magnet to draw to you more time to waste, because that's something that you want to experience. Antithetically, there are people that do not waste time and they use their time wisely. And because they use their time wisely, they are given more time in which to expedite their life's mission and cause. And next thing you know, you're looking at them like, how is it that you have the time to accomplish so many different things? There are many people who are making great use of their time. And when you waste time, it is an offense to the time lords and the beings who actually create time for you to have this experience called life that you wished to participate in. I'm going to give you 3 beings who actually work closely with those constructs of time. Kronos is a god that actually creates time. Some people call him Kalabadawa, some people call him Cronus. There's an archangel named Archangel Metatron. He's very powerful when it comes to time. I've actually had to invoke his usage because if you're running late for a meeting, you could actually ask Archangel Metatron to bend time and really connect with that request when you do it. And more likely than not, you will get to where you're going with time to spare. I've done this many times, and I am never ceased to be amazed at how Metatron uses time to the advantage of those who actually ask for the intercedence of that blessing. So, when we see the numbers, this is how you can use those numbers to your advantage. When you see the numbers, stop what you're doing, say out loud, I saw that. Connect with the angels that are bringing you those series of numbers and ask them to do it more. And then meditate on why it is that you're seeing that number. Most importantly, get in contact with the intellect of your soul, because inside of your soul, which resides in 3 different places of your body, which is the first eye, as I call it. Some people call it the pineal gland or the third eye. This is the first eye, your heart chakra, and in your solar plexus. These are the 3 compartments that comprise the body or the engine of part of your soul. And that has the mission of why you're here. The soul houses the manual, if you will, and it also gives you your orders to be dispensated here on earth. If you spend time meditating a little bit every day, and you go into the engine of your soul and you ask your soul why it is that you're here, you will find your life's purpose. I want to share another example with you. Archangel Gabriel is a very powerful archangel of divine communication, and I work with her very, very closely. And Archangel Gabriel, I like to call her because she's come to me as a female. When in actuality, they're not male or female, but when they come to us, they give us the advantage of taking on a polarity so that we can identify with them a little bit easier. I have a seminar called Divine World, and in that seminar, you might actually see this video on YouTube. You will see Archangel Gabriel take human form and save someone who was walking across the street from being hit by a truck. And it stops at 3:33. 3:33 is Archangel Gabriel's personal message to me of when she wishes to convey something to me. Now, you can use these numbers and assign an archangel with whom you resonate with to communicate with you with those numbers if you don't have one assigned. And you will start to see that they are tapping you on the shoulder and they're giving you messages all the time with these numbers. It's a beautiful thing. There's a young lady named Panchetta. Hello, Panchetta. I actually initiated Panchetta a couple of months ago into Kundalini Reiki. And a friend of mine named Carrie, she actually called me one day and she asked me to help Panchetta as much as I could. And I told her that I would be more than willing to do so. Right in the middle of that conversation, the phone went dead. I walked down into the Sterling Avenue subway station, and then my phone came back on. And when I looked, it said 3:33, which was Archangel Gabriel letting me know that, yes, I want you to help Panchetta as much as possible. Right before the phone went dead, I was just about to tell Carrie about a message that I got from Archangel Gabriel a couple of weeks ago. This is an example of how the archangels work to remind you of something or to give you a specific message. I'll share another one with you. There is a student named Anne Francois who I have who resides in Brussels, Belgium. And she actually was having a conversation with me one day, and we were actually going over the potential of me doing a presentation there in Brussels. We were also going over her studentship, and the phone once again went dead at 2:22. So when the phone came back on, I called her back in Brussels and I time-stamped it, and I showed her the image of 2:22. If you go to Doreen Virtue's book, Angel Numbers 101, this is a really good book to have, and you turn to what 2:22 has to say. It says, trust that everything is working out exactly as it is supposed to, with divine blessings for everyone involved. Let go and have faith. That was the angels telling us both directly that we should do the presentation in Brussels, and I will be there in February to present Multidimensional Self, and there will be blessings for everyone who attends. And the angels actually support when we do things like this. So it's really good to increase your education as to what the angels themselves have to offer us. And it is also wise not to waste your time, because the Time Lords who created may take offense to it and give you more time to waste. And when you waste your time, you're more likely than not achieving what you came to Earth to achieve, and you will have the deficit of bringing yourself right back into the same scenario. Okay, so I hope that answers your question about why you're seeing the numbers that you're seeing, and give you a little bit more information about time, how to use it wisely. If you have any more questions, feel free to pose your questions on YouTube or the Facebook Galighticus page, and I'll see you next Thursday. I'm Gano Grills for Galighticus.com. Take care and God bless.